Yo, 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 everybody. Generikb here with another episode of Redstone Academy with your host, Professor Generic. Oh, hello there. So today we are going to talk about Redstone Dust. That's right. It looks so simple, right? I mean, everybody knows Redstone Dust. Magic wire. But really, how does it work? How can we use it to create such giant redstone contraptions? Well, I'm here to show you how. So, before I get started, for the dust, the torch, and the repeater episodes, there's a concept that we need to talk about. And it is called first degree power and second degree power. Now, first degree power, which we'll show with a red wool block, is any block where power is coming into it and energizing it. So in this case, we have this little lever. When we turn it on, this little block is going to be energized. So that's first degree power. Second degree power is any item that is next to that energized block, and it will power it. So the block itself isn't powered as far as, it doesn't have energy in it, but it is powered in the sense that it's right next to this redstone block. So, for instance, you can't go, red wool block. So, for instance, like, that's never going to happen. This isn't going to power that, and then like that. So you can see that doesn't work. So it's everything that is next to this energized block is considered second degree power. So turn this on, right? Same thing up here to show you. Turns that on. And also this redstone dust because it's right next to the block. And even right below it, that works as well. So this is great for if you have, let me grab a pressure plate, and you want to hide the wiring. This should work just dandy fine. Work. And let's see, I'll run a couple of these so we can see it. Step on the plate. Boom. Right. Perfect. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, the redstone dust lays right on top of a block, just like that, and it will always power the block that it is laying on top of, right? So if this signal was going, all of these blocks would be energized, first degree power, remember that. Now redstone dust will go 15 blocks before it runs out of signal. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and you see it's still got those little particles. On the 16th, it's dead. So you would then have to extend it with a repeater or a inverted gate, but we're going to talk about that in another episode. And also redstone dust only lays on top of the blocks. You can't put them under or on the side. The only reason it looks like this is because we have this redstone dust, and it just kind of connects. Simple? Got it? Great. So now let's talk about two different types of redstone dust here. The first one is a redstone dot, and the second one is a redstone line. Now, it's very important to know the difference between the two because of the properties of redstone dust. Now, the dot is something fairly new. It came out in the 1.0, retail version of Minecraft. In the betas, it was actually a little cross, which made a lot of sense because these first degree powered blocks only get powered by redstone dust if the redstone dust is pointing into it. So with this dot, you just have to kind of picture that it's going to power everything around because in the olden days it was a cross. Make sense? Okay. And keep in mind it also powers the redstone or the red wool block below it. So all of these that you see that are red are first degree power. And now the second degree power is easy. It's every block that you can place on top of the first degree blocks, just like so. See how they all light up just like that? Perfect. So this is really important to keep in mind that, if you're doing some redstone contraptions and you have a block there, you really need to know what it powers because that will affect your contraptions. If you want to have, like, let's say you had a piston. Let's grab a piston here, right? And you had, see how it went off? Because this is powering that block, which is powering this piston. Dust, first degree power, second degree power. If you didn't want that to happen, you'd have to reevaluate and redesign your redstone contraption. So, hey, see ya, piston? That's this guy. The difference with the Redstone Line is, again, the same rules follow. It powers the block that it's laying on top of. So these two right here are energized, first degree power. It's also energizing these two blocks. Even though this is powered by a lever, just go with it. It would power these two blocks because the redstone dust is pointing into it, but it would not power the blocks. Well, definitely won't power that. Oh, come on now. Oh, there we go. It definitely will not power the ones to the sides because the redstone dust isn't pointing into it. And just to kind of further prove that, check this out. I'm putting redstone lamps right there. Right? Can I do it? Can I do it? Oh, pro. Right? So you see those do not light up at all. So there is no first degree power going into them. However, everything else is fair game. So anything that's around by these blocks, including underneath, completely able to use all your outputs that we've discussed over there. So you could stick a door on it. You could stick a dispenser, pistons, trapdoors, whatever you need to have will work just peachy off of this line as long as it's touching one of these energized blocks. First degree power, second degree power. Now, here's a practical use for this. If you've seen this, a lot of people use these in wheat farms, melon farms, trap doors, all sorts of stuff. And you see this, where they put in repeaters and they flip the little switch and it goes like that, right? Sometimes you have to do this, but there's a much easier way if you can get away with it. And that is to put some blocks. These technically should be red wool blocks just to stay consistent, but go with it. So all you have to do is put some blocks up next to your pistons or redstone lamps or whatever. Turn this on, and that's because it's powering this line, and the redstone dust powers all the blocks that are under it, first degree power, which then powers all of these pistons or lamps or whatever it is. That's the second degree power, right? Hopefully that helps. Then the last thing I want to show is, look at this little squiggle. Blech. This will happen quite often if you want to try to run lines, connecting to each other. Run like two different lines to different places, and you've got all this crap going on. Now, we'll talk about this in another episode, you could take a bunch of repeaters, and you could, try to just go down and separate them out. But really, there's an easier way to do it if you just take a solid block and just cut them. And that is because a redstone dust will not go through diagonally through a solid block. So this effectively cuts it out. Now, if you ever wanted to make it where it does go through, but physically you want to block off the entrance, you can use any type of transparent block. And that is stairs, glass, half slabs, things of that nature. You can do that, and you can see that the signal runs just fine. I think that's about it for Redstone Dust. Very, very simple, but you can see it's very powerful. Really knowing how the behavior of this stuff is will really help you build some stuff. And then that way you can actually do things instead of just looking on YouTube and copying what other people do. And that is it for today. Next episode, I'm hitting the torch. This episode, I hit the torch. All right. Until next time, guys, this is Professor Generikb, Redstone Academy. Take care. Brush your hair. See you when I see ya. Peace.